Okay, we've got a spring out, so hopefully you're confident enough now that you can do it yourself. And now we've got to point out a few more details before we carry on. If you haven't got that kind of action, as in the axle appears to be supporting itself, then your bushes at the back are probably knackered. There's quite a lot of support in these bushes at the back. They take quite a lot of weight, even at that length, that reach. Right. Okay, now, before we take the other side apart, which we need to do to allow the axle to come down even further, so we can get our new high lift springs in. Brake hoses, we've got to mention, safety issue. See that on full lock? It's like a guitar string. So if you're extending your suspension, lifting it by 2 inches, and definitely by 4 inches, you're going to snap brake hoses. So, we'll cover brakes on another DVD. This is just suspension at the moment, and how to change your springs. 50mm lift. I'll tell you what, we'll put the springs in and I'll assess that as an MOT tester, see what we think. Right, okay, so we've done that. That's all ready to go. Next job is release the other side so we can have the axle down low enough. I'll just show you why. Because we don't want to fight with anything. We want to use hydraulics in our brains to get the new bits in. So we want the axle down low enough that we can just plop that in there, plop it in the cup at the top with our new retaining ring, and then lift it back up with the jack, push it all into place, drop the shock absorber in from the top, and anchor it up. So, same brief with the other side, except move your axle stand. Obviously this is the one for use on the rack. Transmission jack. Move your axle stand, hydraulic jack to the centre of your axle, so it's taking the weight and wobbling the Land Rover on the two poster. And now what I do is I release the other shock, undo the turret, and come back when we're ready to lower it down, and we'll watch our brake hoses and see what happens. Back in a sec. Right, okay, all the nuts and bolts are undone. This is now taking the weight, keeping the spring compressed, which is there. The nuts off the bottom. 3 out of 4 of the bolts on the top of the turret snapped, so that definitely needs a new ring, so something to think about before you get on with yours. Now, I'm just going to let it down, and that should separate. Obviously mine doesn't come out and hit you on the head, because the axle will come down a lot further now. And what I want you to watch, for those of you that don't want to break into your brake circuit, hydraulic circuit, is as it comes down, see the brake hose, both sides, and the jack is now coming away, which means the bushes at the back are doing their job. Okay, that's that. But now that gives us enough slack to put the new springs in. So what we will do is I'll whip the rest of this out, and we'll be back in a second. She'll be coming down. Right, okay, it's a new day. Done a little bit of painting where we've had the springs off, you can see. Left that overnight to go off. And now it's time for a few details. So, basically the biggest issue that we're going to have during this job is brake hoses. And if you're going to go up considerably, then when you're ordering up your springs, you're going to have to get some brake hoses, because just safety wise it's worth doing. And if you're putting standard springs back in, these are medium load plus 50mm in height, and it's possible to get them in no problem with the new ring. You push that up first obviously, but what we're fitting on here is everything, so we've got to cover the whole lot. Dislocation springs, cones rather, get it right. The new ring, have a closer look, the new ring goes up underneath like that. then that pushes up through the hole. And then these are the twin shock mounts. Smart looking bit of kit. They go over the top like so, with the front part of the turret this side. Right, so with them up, it is now not possible to get the spring up without a load of aggro or spring compressor. Not really worth the aggro, putting the spring compressor up. So that's actually done. So I'm going to put the 4 nuts back on the top there, and then we'll cover the last bit. This is the bottom bracket, and I looked at it and it took me a minute to work out where it went, but it's quite simple. You undo that nut on the driver's side, and you've got the bracket there for the left-hand drive panhard rods, and that bolts on there like so. So you get your normal shock through there, and your front shock down the outside. Nice simple bit of kit.